Hey guys, how we doing? So we're back in another Kage video. Woo! And this one's interesting. I was just scrolling through and I was like, ooh. And usually I throw my little opinion in on what I think we're going to see. But generally can't think of anything off the top of my head. I'm really sorry. Naruto fights we never got to see, and I know people will be in the comments like, well, what about this fight? Or what about this fight? It's fine. It's been a while since I've read through the Naruto manga. So I suppose maybe one I could think of would be the kids of the Sixth Path Sage. That would be a cool one to see. Just off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of what else we had flashbacks of, but we never really saw a full thing of. You know, all the Akatsuki fights, but you could say that we've seen them in the game. You know, when like they recruit them and stuff like that, and then well, I mean, we saw Itachi and Orochimaru. We saw how that went. You know, there must have been some pretty decent fights out there that we never actually got to see, like, in full... just little flashes of, like, talking or mentions of said things. Oh, who's the guy with the hearts, with the black arms? The wiry arm things who says he fought the first Hokage. That would have been interesting. Anyway, I don't know. I say I couldn't think of anything, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, right, but anyway. Naruto fights. Sorry, I've had an energy drink and I'm just like, whoa! Naruto fights we never got to see.
Yo, how's it going, everybody? Kage here. Welcome to another Naruto discussion video. Today with me, I have my pal, my sidekick, Clyde the Weeaboo.
Oh, cool!
I don't really know if a lot of you guys have been asking about him, but I'm sure some of you thought he went missing.
Wow, that's insulting.
I love it when Clyde's on. He's funny.
They've clearly missed me, but...
Yeah, well,
I missed you, Clyde.
Every single comment I received was actually asking about your whereabouts. But he's here, and as you can clearly see for yourself, today we're going to be talking about Naruto fights that we would have liked to have seen
Asura and
actually
Indra
happened in the actual series.
That's what I
and,
suggest.
I mean, I guess, yeah, this is just more of me inserting my own fucking Naruto fanfic wet dreams onto YouTube.
Always entertaining, though.
Juicy little discussion, really. We won't go into all the intricacies of the fights themselves, but we did...
This video would be like 24 hours long.
That'd be really long, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
but then how would that happen? Who would win?
Yeah, we just want to cover a lot of the fights that we would have liked to see. Rob and I talked about a lot of these stuff in the background before recording the video, and we did find a couple of ones that would have been pretty goddamn cool.
Yeah, like
series, so,
legitimately like top tier anime fights that I think like everybody would unanimously enjoy. And hey, if you want to see us cover, you know, some of these fights as like proper versus battle videos, you know, you can just let us know in the comments, and yeah, we'll definitely do that.
Cool.
Now, one thing that I should specify before we begin is this isn't like just random matchups that we would like to see because we think they would be cool. Like Tobirama versus Kisame is an example of one that just couldn't happen. It doesn't make sense. Neither of them were alive at the same time.
Right.
And there's no real.
No, I see what you mean. It's like
that.
fights that were mentioned. That's where I thought this was going.
We'll just go ahead and get into our number one, Indra versus Asura.
There we go,
well, like, we got to see this in the anime, right? It was in the form of a filler, but it was a pretty shitty filler. I didn't like the filler because of how it characterized Indra and Asura. Indra just had, like, all of Sasuke's abilities, and Asura just had, like, a mix of Hashiramas and Naruto's. He had, like, a super Rasengan before the Rasengan was even made. Like, it didn't make sense. That filler didn't explore the characters well enough. I think, like, if we had actually seen, like, a serious flashback of a battle between the two where they had, like, unique movesets, I think that would have been really cool. I think it would have been like Hashirama versus Madara, but on fucking mega steroids. Yeah. It would have been sort of like Naruto versus Sasuke, really.
It would have been cool because, like, the thing that made Madara unique, for example, when he first got his Sage abilities, was that he whipped out Light Style, and it's like, wait, we haven't seen this before, which was really cool, and Indra and Asura didn't really have any unique standalone abilities of their own. They just had, like, kind of, like, rehashed versions of Sasuke and Naruto's abilities, so... Yeah, that was a
bit as soon as you take something that's not in the manga, you don't really have much to go on.
Yeah, but you get what I mean, though.
Yeah, and I know, like, it's like Indra had a Matarasu and a purple perfect Susanoo, and it's like, what the fuck is this? You know, like, I'm pretty sure everybody wanted to see this fight go down. We're kind of just preaching to the choir here, so before we move on, do you have anything you want to add to that, or not?
I think it just would have been cool because to show how overpowered those characters were, like,
well, they would have been, wouldn't they?
Purely for us to
they really would have been.
Sit there and jerk off over how OP the characters would have been. That's probably the most exciting part about it.
I guess it would have given us a neat precedent for the shit that was gonna go down with Obito Madara, and eventually Naruto and Sasuke, and I guess Kaguya a bit. Speaking of Kaguya, another fight that would have been cool to see. I think we also got this in the filler. I didn't really pay too much attention to any of the Naruto filler, actually. I just, briefly, skim over it. It would be Hagoromo and Hamura versus Kaguya.
Oh, right, yeah.
That fight was kind of, hyped up in the manga as this, huge titanic clash that, the fate of the world rested on. And I imagine the fight was really cool. I would have loved to see a full-power Hagoromo fighting alongside Hamura.
It'd be
Hagoromo
insane.
has both Naruto and Sasuke's abilities. He has, all of Madara's abilities, but, and then some. I mean, again, just like Indra versus Asura, it just would have been a really cool fight.
Yeah, it would have been hype to see how they would have, it would have been hype to see how they dealt with Kaguya back in the day, because, that was pretty ruthless, like you said it was. The fate of the world was literally at stake.
Yeah, and it also would have helped provide a little bit of build-up for Kaguya. Let's say if it was, a couple chapters long as the Sage of Six Paths was explaining what was going on, then you'd be
that'd have been awesome.
Kaguya gonna show up? And then she does, and it still would have been annoying that Zetsu backstabbed Madara, but I think it would have been a much easier pill to swallow if the Sage of Six Paths had directly mentioned her, right before she appeared. It would have felt like it came less out of nowhere.
It definitely would have led into the story a lot smoother, rather than oh, well, there goes Madara, fucking rip.
Yep.
Well, now, I know she was mentioned once before already. The series did dabble on her. I'm only getting this out of the way because of comments. I know people are going to be, but Swag, they did talk about Kaguya in the series already. And I'm like, well, yeah, I know, but, it would have been nice to see her fight beforehand, if you get what I mean.
Oh, she's trash. Let's move on.
Okay, so moving on to earlier points in the series. This is, pre-Pain. I think Sasuke should have gotten more fights as, heavy Sasuke. Pre-MS, I think it would have just been nice to see him do some more shit. Some cool opponents for him. I've already talked about one of these, but I would have liked to see him fight Jiraiya first. I would have liked to see him fight more members of the Akatsuki, as a matter of fact. Seeing him match up against Sasori would be awesome. Kakazu would be really cool as well. A fight with Kisame would be pretty decent, but I don't think it would be nearly as cool as fucking, Kakazu or... especially not Jiraiya. I've already made a video talking about Sasuke versus Jiraiya with Seth.
With Seth, the debate.
Seth disagrees with me on the outcome of that fight, whereas Klein, he thinks that our boy Sasuke would come away with a W. That's not important, no. Why do you think the fight would be entertaining?
Oh, God.
Well, we come up with an actual situation of how it could have happened, because this isn't just us picking characters and matching them up, obviously.
Right.
We're talking about things that could have happened.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning.
A situation I gave to Rob was what if, let's say, Jiraiya was somewhere out on a little journey, as he occasionally does, and then he accidentally runs into Sasuke, and he's like, alright, I'm going to try and bring him back for the sake of Naruto, because, he obviously cares about Naruto.
Yeah, he would, yeah.
They get into an exchange of fisticuffs, and they end up fighting, so that's a possibility where it could have happened. I feel like that's
or he hears that Sasuke killed Orochimaru, quote unquote, and he's just this kid is way too dangerous at this point, maybe he seems
He'd have an emotional reason for going as well, wouldn't he?
Down. Maybe bring him back to the village, because we can't have him running around as a rogue ninja anymore. It's just, too much of a problem. He nearly killed Naruto, Sakura, Yamato, and Sai. I definitely need to put him down. Something along those lines.
Yeah,
I think the fight would be really cool, especially depending on the location. Because, if it was somewhere with a lot of corridors, like the village hidden in the rain was, that would be really cool to see. Because it would just be fucking nothing but tactics. It would just be them trying to figure each other out, hiding while they formulated strategies, coming out, just all these crazy...
Very tactical fight, wouldn't it?
I think it would be a lot more entertaining than, say, where Sasuke fought Deidara, which was this, wide open field.
Yeah, really out in the open and just,
stop and think.
All over the place.
Or do any setup or whatever. So, something maybe a forest or whatever, that would make for a pretty cool fight between Sasuke and Jiraiya. And regardless of the outcome of the fight, it would be a really cool character moment for Naruto to have to speak to Jiraiya, and for Jiraiya to say, look, Sasuke is way too strong for you now, dude. There's absolutely no way you would come out alive if you fought to the death with this kid.
Yeah, let's be specific, during that part of the series, because I know Naruto fans are going to go fucking mental if we even imply that one's stronger than the other. Yeah,
you can't do that.
It's honestly not far-fetched that they could have fought, because Jiraiya was kind of in a Hokage type position where he would have been like, alright, I've got to deal with this. Tsunade can't leave the village. This is something that I can do in my spare time. And on top of that, regardless of how much of a cunt Orochimaru was, I think that Jiraiya did care about him.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he was a friend.
Him to see that he's being killed to an extent. So
he'd have an emotional reason for going.
To go after him.
If not that, what I think it would like the message it would send to Jiraiya is like it seems like he has no loyalty. You know, he doesn't feel responsible for anything, right? Aside from killing Itachi, he doesn't feel like he has anybody to answer to. That's incredibly dangerous because he was strong enough to take out Orochimaru, somebody capable of assassinating the third Hokage. And granted, he was sick and all of that, but I don't know if Jiraiya would know the extent to which that was, like, hindering Orochimaru's abilities. Like, I'm sure he heard that Orochimaru went toe-to-toe with, like, four-tailed Naruto, so he'd be like, Jesus Christ, Sasuke took this guy out. He wouldn't have to know that Orochimaru was bedridden. You know, he might just think that in, like, a one-on-one fight to the death, Orochimaru fighting all out, lost, and that would definitely scare him. On top of that, he may have heard that Sasuke killed Deidara, which would be another that would alarm him a lot. He'd be like, Jesus, Deidara took out Garo with next to no effort whatsoever. This guy's like fucking Kage level. He can't just be allowed to, like, you know, just roam the streets freely like this, doing whatever he wants.
Yeah, it would have been a pretty realistic thing that could have happened, and just to see how Sasuke would have dealt, because he's a very tactical fighter, that's something I've always loved about him, to see how he would deal with a lot of Jiraiya's jutsus and stuff, that would have been such an amazing fight to see. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good hypothetical one. What about the next one?
Yeah, Sasuke versus Kakazu is another fight I'd like to see. Like I said, I'd like to see Sasuke fight a lot more of the Akatsuki members, particularly Sasori.
So Kakazu is his name.
How,
I want to see the... Because he did fight the first
but
Hokage,
Kakazu
didn't
in
he?
particular would be pretty good. Now, I'm not sure if Sasuke would be able to beat Kakazu, and I'm not saying that Kakazu's stronger than Jiraiya. I'm just saying that I don't know if he'd be able to deal with all of the tools at Kakazu's disposal, just because I think it's more of a hard counter. But, I mean, yeah, no, like, there's just so many reasons why that would be fun to see. I'll try and not talk about Sasuke so much. You know, people could be like, yeah, talk about people that are Uchiha for once. So, moving on. Kakashi versus Guy. Why didn't we get to see that one? That was just a fight that sort of demanded to be shown. And
that would be cool.
Yeah, it would have just been cool as a friendly little sparring session. It, you know, it doesn't have to be serious, but it just would have been cool to see how they did, because they did all those competitions with each other, but they never really
actually
fought
each
which
other,
would have
right?
been cool. Like, I would have just liked to see that for entertainment value, whether or not it impacts the story.
Obviously, we can't have 8th Gate Guy versus MS Kakashi.
No, it would be purely...
That's not realistic at all.
It would be them purely just, you know, having a fun sparring match, that's all.
Yeah. Okay.
I think, you know,
I was going to say, fight to the death. Like, no.
I don't really have much else to say about that. I'm just surprised by the fact that it didn't happen.
Alright, and basically the last one that we sort of talked about a lot before recording this video was actually that we never got to see Madara versus Jubito. That shit would have been fucking hype. Go into it, Mr. Rob.
Okay, now I get it. Now you guys are probably fucking, like, foaming at the mouth. Like, did he just say Madara versus Jubito? And I'm like, okay, now listen. Look, I don't think that Madara would have won, like, effortlessly. Well, let me go ahead and specify.
It would have been interesting to see them fight, yeah.
Base Madara with Sage Mode versus Jubito. No, I don't think he would have won effortlessly, but it's implied that Madara was going to absorb Hashirama's Sage Chakra and use that to fight Jubito, because when Naruto and Sasuke extract the Jubi from him, Madara's like, oh, thanks, Naruto, you saved me quite a bit of trouble, and he forces Obito to cast Rinne Rebirth on him.
It implies he could have done it.
And, you know, gets ready to retrieve all of the tailed beasts again. Now, this implies that he was going to fight Jubito himself in order to extract the 10 tails manually and become its Jinchuriki after having Obito revive him, of course. And the only way for him to do this would be by stealing Hashirama's Sage Chakra. And now this would be fucking crazy. Like, imagine how quick and how impossible to touch Madara would be with Sage Jutsu. And, you know, Obito would still be getting used to controlling the Jubi. He'd probably be a little bit fatigued from all the combat with Naruto and Sasuke. Madara, thanks to reading the Uchiha Stone Tablet and having more insight into all of this shit thanks to Zetsu, would probably be able to deal with the Truth-Seeking Orbs. Obviously, he's not, like, as fast or as powerful as Obito, but it just would have been a really cool fight to see. Madara would have been doing all of this crazy shit for the sake of diversions. Like, I mean, like, what do you think?
Alright, so think about all the times when Kakashi fought people, for example, and the way that he would, like, have 5 steps ahead planned. Alright, now picture this with Madara, because this would be the first time where Madara is actually fighting someone where he's at risk of losing.
And he has to be really tactical about fighting him.
A fight from a tactical standpoint.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And on top of that,
instead of just, like, stomping everybody.
It would have been cool. Because imagine seeing Madara set up jutsus, like, he's got, like, 3 different ones planned ahead. He's like, right, I'm going to do this and a substitution.
It would be awesome instead of just like, ha, I'm
That's exactly
overpowering
what I
you.
was saying the appeal of this would
Yeah,
be. Having to see Madara push himself. Because that's one of the things that I think is the coolest thing ever. When you see a villain, like when they're getting pressed and they have to start trying like their absolute hardest, and you see like that they're like straining themselves. That would have been so cool with Madara, and we never got that from him. It was just him shitting on everybody, and I would love to see him like try his absolute hardest in this fight.
Just being in the Sage modes itself, mixed with the Renegon and his already amazing taijutsu, like, he's going to be slipping around, like, barely getting hit ever.
Well, yeah, just seeing him use the Renegon to its maximum potential in combination with his, like, wood style, his fire style, his Susanoo, like, all of the... Imagine him sicking all of these Sage Mode wood Susanoo clones on Obito, and having Obito forced to deal with all of that crazy shit.
That'd be cool.
And it was going to happen. It was going to fucking happen. Fucking Naruto and Sasuke basically cucked us.
Yeah, I know. Naruto had to talk to Jutsu us out of the craziest fight in the series. I think that would probably be my number one fight. Like, if not for... the fact that
imagine if they made it like 3 episodes long. Oh,
I'd fucking seam in my pants.
Alright, well, I think we're pretty much done, aren't we, with the list? We can always go in.
Check out Clyde the Weeaboo's channel, link in the description.
Wait, just a second. Let me shield. Yeah, guys, so I haven't been uploading in a while, because I'm lazy, but I am...
Check out his channel!
I am editing a pretty cool Bleach video, so if you do go check out my channel, that's an incentive to go check it out. You don't have to, but if you do, I'd appreciate it. A lot of work's gone into the video. Thanks for having me.
Make him money!
Yeah, make me money.
And you're welcome. Please get Clyde rich.
I don't know how to react.
It's great. That was cool. Yeah, it's been interesting fights. But like I said, I would have liked to have seen forget his name now already. Katsuki dude with the black stuff fighting the first Hokage. We know he came out of it alive, but how? So that would have been cool to see. Can't really... Yeah. I like it when he has somebody on to go back and forth. It's always funny. You get these random moments. Him and Seth are always good as well. So, yeah. Thank you guys very much for watching. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch or discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys. Yes, all of you guys next time.